Thank you for listening to the Waters Run Deep podcast. Check us out on YouTube and follow us on Instagram at TWRD_podcast. If you have a topic suggestion or would just like to send us a nasty gram, email us at thewatersrundeeppodcast.com. Please remember to rate and review on your platform of choice. It really helps us out with the algorithms to get new listeners to check us out. If you leave us a 5-star review, we will read it on an episode and send you out some TWRD stickers. Till next time, run deep.
All right, welcome to another episode. I'm joined with Angela, Amanda, and Adam, and we're kind of just going to do a recap of... Oh, we're getting started early. Going to do a recap of the last 2 seasons and kind of tying everything together to get through... Yeah, I fucked that up. Lost my train of thought. About to clip that out. Anyway, I just want to remind everybody to rate and review on your platform of choice. Helps us out. And please tell your friends, family, coworkers, all that fun stuff. Check us out. And with that, we're going to give it over to Amanda to start Wacky World News.
So we have 2 news stories today. But the first, do you want to start with the one that you all know about or my surprise one?
Let's start with the one that we've already talked about.
Agreed.
Okay, so recently in the news, we have learned that Red Lobster is considering filing bankruptcy due to an $11 million loss from its endless shrimp deal.
So, I know I know that story. I've heard the story already. So my thing is with that is that they did it for a while, and it was like they would do it in like a season. So they would have endless shrimp, and then it would go away for a while, and then they'd have Lobster Fest, and that go away. It was kind of like whatever they call that, and that made sense. You know, they could do it with the time shrimp season, and it would be cheaper. They could have, it just made more sense. But I felt like they were raising the prices on everything. And I get everything. And I sound like the, get off my lawn guy right now. But
how dare you talk about inflation?
We're going to have to make a shirt called Get Off My Lawn.
I know. And but it's true. I mean, I feel like Red Lobster was the worst. I mean, me and wife would go there for dinner, and we would get the Admiral's Feast, which was like lobster, crab legs, and all that. And it was like 25 or 24, 25. And it made sense. I mean, it wasn't, and it was a lot of food too. Like it wasn't like I think the lobster came on a bed of rice peel off. So you would get that and you would get 2 sides, and it kind of made sense. But now they took that away, made it less food, and then jacked the price up to where I think it's over $30 now for the Admiral's Feast. Yeah, it's crazy. And it's good. I like Red Lobster, but it's just, to me, it's not that good, to pay that kind of money. Now, granted, you're getting crab leg, lobster, shrimp, you're getting a bunch of shit, but I don't know. It is a sad day that they're going bankrupt, though, but I don't think it was all of them. I think it was only like 50 some stores, right?
To be honest, I didn't read too much into it because I must come from the opposite side of the Waters family that does not enjoy Red Lobster. Especially because I live in a landlocked state. So where are they getting that frozen Red Lobster from? No.
Yeah.
Although
I don't trust seafood out in Colorado.
No, Adam and I used to live by a Red Lobster when we first moved in together. And he would literally joke every time we would walk by it or drive by it that we would go in there, and that's where he was going to ask me to marry him. And
oh my God, I remember that joke now.
Although I make jokes about how he did ask me to marry him, which was on our dirty kitchen floor, way better than at a Red Lobster. Way better.
Hold on. If you were at Red Lobster, you could have got the cheddar biscuits. And you could have had the ring and the cheddar biscuits, and that could have been your whole wedding ring box.
Thank God I already said yes and be married. But
Adam, when you renew your vows, that's how you need to propose to her.
No? All right, no comment. I don't think he's paying attention. Oh, at our 10th, yes, we'll go to.
Because you want to do a destination.
If there are still Red Lobsters for our 10th wedding anniversary in 2030, we will figure out and get married there. Imagine.
It's like have an authentic New York slice.
Okay, so I don't know. The all you can eat sounds lovely. I love all you can eat places. Big fan of all you can eat, like lobster, crab. But for some reason, Red Lobster just doesn't seem like the place I want to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's all you can eat shrimp, and it's not even like, to me, it's not great quality shrimp, and they're kind of small. And
I'd rather go to Red Lobster for all you can eat than Golden Corral or any sort of buffet.
Yes, agreed. But they're kind of weird with it.
Going there.
Yeah.
They're kind of weird with it though, because they'll say you can, like when you first order it, they'll say, all right, pick 2 flavors. And there's like 6 to choose from. You'll get those 2 flavors and you're like halfway through and they're like, oh, pick one more to bring another plate out. And you do. And then from that point on, like you feel like there's a million jokes in there and I just can't think of one, but you feel like you're pulling teeth to get more, like you got to beg for it almost. For most servers, some of the servers,
Lisa, I want some more.
Yeah. Some of the waitresses are cool about
finding God and having to jump in the water for the shrimp to come out.
Yeah, it's like, come on.
Are the shrimp like soggy or like soft?
It depends on which ones you get. I mean, the scampi are pretty soggy.
Because like when I think of good shrimp, like the best shrimp I've ever had, I know you both are gonna laugh. Was from Giant, and the guy like made it with Old Bay, and like your dad, Chris, we ate so much shrimp that day. Like I think we ate like 3 pounds of shrimp.
So you got them steamed at Giant?
Yeah, I got them steamed at Giant and Old Bay.
Okay. Why would we laugh at you for that? I think it's the way to go. If you don't know how to cook them at home, why not just get it at the meat counter?
Well, like we were going to cook it at home. And then when I went to get them, the guy's like, oh, I can steam them here. And I was like, fuck yeah, please do. And then I came home with them and Uncle Jack and I literally just sat there for hours and ate them. It was the best shrimp ever.
We do the,
now I want some shrimp.
It's not the same Giant, but we do the frozen, deveined raw shrimp from Giant. Because they go on sale all the time. And they're really good. I mean, we take them home and grill them 99% of the time, but they come out really good. So Giant shrimp's all right. I can get down with Giant shrimp.
So funny, Giant shrimp. If you don't know, Giant's a grocery store in the East.
Oh yeah, they're not literally giant shrimp like prawns. They're just from Giant, and they're kind of medium-sized shrimp.
Well, you can get the jumbo shrimp.
That's true. The tiger shrimp, yeah, they have those. They do have those. They're to me though, the bigger the shrimp, sometimes there's no flavor. You just feel like you're eating meat. They're fun because you only have to eat like 5 of them. But
you get the normal size shrimp, and then they cook down to like half their size.
That's true. As long as they're not like
about my experience at the casino.
No.
So my work took a trip to the casino. Are you laughing at my experience? Or are you laughing at him saying that? Okay. So my work took us to the casino for like a work trip, like fun experience. And I went to the buffet and it was like $65 for the fucking casino buffet. And I'm not a buffet fan. But
what are your options for the food for the $65 buffet?
I'm not sure because I only ate 2 things. I ate my weight in lobster and I ate my weight in crab.
Okay, that's fair.
Crab. Thank you.
Okay.
So you get a ticket and it's like 1 ticket for one lobster and then a ticket for a pound of crabs. But I sweet talked the lady because I have the water's tongue. And I was like, can I have more? And so she gave me 3 lobsters and 3 pounds of crab.
Wow.
Wait. Hold on. If it was a buffet, why are they capping you on how much stuff you could get? And you have to get a ticket.
It's a buffet for everything else but the lobster and the crab.
Okay.
The crab, you only get 1 ticket for 1 lobster.
That's not a buffet then.
No.
Well, everything else was a buffet. Like if you wanted like filet mignon or like Oreo cookies. I don't know. I honestly have no idea what else was on this buffet because I only ate lobster and crab.
Did you know the Boston Lobster Feast, or is it Boston Lobster Fest? It's
Red
in
Lobster.
Orlando.
Oh my
it's
God.
I didn't think I was
Oh.
laughing.
The Boston Lobster is literally God's gift to man.
Yeah, it's all you can eat whole lobster. Like the big fucker, got the claws and everything.
And the people who are amateurs, they go and they eat the chicken and the
Yeah,
other
all the
stuff.
dumb shit.
You don't
Fuck
eat that stuff. That is the filler. You literally go for the lobster and the fucking crab.
Right.
So that's what
The
I did.
lobster.
That's what I did. And I ate the lobster and the crab. And then we're gambling. And I'm like, man, I don't feel good. Like, oh, the lobsters are barking. So by the time we got home, I'm like, Adam's like, how is the casino? And I was like, I can't talk. Threw up the entire plate of lobster and crab. Yeah.
Oh man.
Like I rented my $65 worth of lobster and crab. I think what the problem
You
was.
got your money's worth and then
You got
some.
my money.
That's what I was laughing about. And she was going to skip over it.
No, I was going to tell him just after. I think the problem is that I had too much butter.
See, $65, I would have been eating them some bitches again.
After you threw them up.
Fuck yeah, I had to get some butter and I would have went back at it.
Oh God, that sounds so gross.
It does. Hey, were you doing the alcohols with it?
No, I wasn't drinking at all. I do think part of what probably made my tummy hurt is we were on a big bus and like get up to the casino is super curvy. So just like motion sickness probably didn't help.
Yeah.
What's up with that? I've never experienced motion sickness. And I feel like everybody around me is having issues.
I get it on buses and trains. I have to like when we travel on the train, I have to get the little motion sick wristbands.
Adam, do you get that shit?
What'd you say, Chris?
Does Adam get motion sickness or anything like that?
No, he's fine.
That's good.
I didn't have it until living in overseas, and the stop and go of the traffic made it really bad.
I was gonna say that's because no one knew how to drive in Dubai.
No one. But my doctor said it's also because of like I can't clear my sinuses very well, so it makes me like my head all like discombobulated. But like I don't. If we were driving, like if I was in the car with you and we're like driving and it's not stop and go, I would be fine. If it's stop and go, I'm like I'm gonna vomit. Or if we're like going around circles.
Is it different when you're driving?
Yeah, when I'm driving, it's fine.
I was gonna say I can't ride in like the second row or the like back row on like a SUV or anything anymore.
Yeah,
it just waves back and forth.
Wow, that's crazy. I wonder what it seems like a epidemic that everybody's having issues with motion sickness.
Maybe it's the microplastics.
Probably.
So that's because we're spinning so fast already. If the world's not flat, that we should be fine with motion.
The world's increased spinning.
Yeah. And we're pear-shaped according to dumbass Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Wait, the world is pear-shaped?
Yeah. You didn't hear him say that? Oh, you haven't heard that clip?
Either. What? No, I'm sorry.
Oh, I got to find it. All right. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to show you how dumb this fucking asshole is. Hold on one second.
Christopher, you cannot say that because people will come for us if we think Neil deGrasse Tyson is dumb.
Yes. Yes. Don't say those things.
Talking.
While our listeners, or while we're talking about gross things like me throwing up lobsters, earlier before we started recording, I actually shared with Angela, Christopher, I've been sharing all week. My boogers, I've been sick.
Oh, was that your other Wacky World news?
No. That is not my other Wacky World news. This is just while Christopher is telling us about pear-shaped worlds. Speaking of things not pear-shaped, but flat, I've literally blown the world's biggest boogers. Like, I think that one was like almost 4 or 5 inches. It was like the size of my palm. Came out of my nostrils, the color of strawberry jam.
She showed us a visual. It was something.
So if our listeners are curious, I have pictures. We can post them. They probably would get kicked off of Instagram, but and then Adam was like, "You need to tell the doctor." So because he was like I think
They were so big.
Yeah. So I emailed the doctor because we're like close with her. And I was like, hey, Terry, like I've been sick still. And I said, Adam thinks I should tell you, do you want me to show you pictures? And she's like, yeah, I'm always up for some pictures. So I sent her the pictures and she's like, those are some pretty big boogers. She's like, but I'm not worried. You just need a neti pot. You're fine.
Which is crazy.
I was about to say, did she tell you to get a neti pot?
Well, we have like a neti like squeeze thing. And she's
okay,
like,
yeah, that's the one you need to, yeah.
That's what it is. And she's like, you're fine. But she said, I am not worried about this. You are okay. Which is crazy. Did you find it, Chris? Or would you like us to move on to our next Wacky World news?
I got it. I'm on it. And it's pretty much at the beginning, so it won't take that long.
So you want to find the farthest point from that center. And it turns out sea level at the equator is farther away from the center of the Earth than sea level near the poles. It has nothing to do with global warming and melting of the ice caps.
Why is that?
Because Earth, we know it spins once a day. Yes, thank you.
Wow.
People know how long a day lasts here.
Good for row number 2.
Fucking idiot.
Great start.
So you spin, when you spin pizza dough, it kind of flattens out.
Yeah.
Gets wider in the middle. And so Earth, throughout its life, even when it formed, it was spinning. And it got a little wider at the equator than it does at the poles. So it's not actually a sphere. It's oblate. And officially, it's an oblate spheroid. That's what we call it. But not only that, it's slightly wider below the equator than above the equator.
A little chubbier.
A little chubbier.
Yeah.
Chubby's a good way. It's like pear-shaped.
Yeah.
So it turns out the pear-shapedness is
thick
bigger than the height of Mount Everest above sea level.
How much higher is the tall mountain that you would
What?
defend, which name I forget, and probably you do too, in Peru, or is it Ecuador?
Ecuador.
Ecuador. How much higher, if you were on top of this mountain in Ecuador, how much higher than the Mount Everest would you be?
There's a 20,000-foot mountain in Ecuador, which is right. Ecuador is like near the equator, hence Ecuador.
Oh, you're just not giving up.
And that mountain is actually, the summit of that mountain is 1 1/3 miles higher away from Earth's center than the summit of Mount Everest.
Okay. Question number 2.
Wait, but you got to know, let me just so you understand. We've been fed a lie our entire, I want to call it a lie. We've been fed.
It's a point of view thing, I think.
It is a lie, you dumb fucker.
Earth has been misrepresented to us by geologists because the globes that you buy, that you rub your fingers over,
Earth is not flat, Chris.
And you feel the Rocky Mountains. No, okay? These mountains are puny compared to the size of the
Amanda, he's talking about your boobs.
If you were truly that size, some big cosmic giant lumbering through space.
All right, now I just talking about dumb shit.
What? I don't know. Rewind 1 second.
I mean, wasn't he talking about dumb shit the entire time? Because it's Ecuador.
Yeah. And he couldn't remember that it's been
equator adjacent.
If you were a galactic-sized person and you looked at Mount Everest, you would barely even notice it because on comparison to the Earth, even Mount Everest is puny. It is so fucking tiny. Like, it's how many miles tall?
What am I, like a mountain?
The Marianas Trench is farther deep than Everest is tall. For the entire sphere of the Earth, it how do I put it? Even the biggest, the peak and valley, Everest and Marianas Trench, it's like 11 miles difference between the circumference of the Earth, which is like 36,000 miles.
At the highest point, Mount Everest is 29,031.7 feet.
What's that in miles? 5,000.
No, 8,848.86 miles. Or that's meters.
No,
never mind. I don't know.
No one would be able to scale it then. This is like 90,000 feet. So it's like give or take 5 miles. So the height of Everest, 5 miles. The bottom of the Marianas Trench, 7 miles. It's about 12 miles difference. the whole outside shell of the Earth is 36,000 miles. You're talking 11 on all that. It would be so perfectly machined. If you were big enough to be Galactus, you would hold this ball and feel like a cue ball. It would be it'd feel so perfectly round. It'd probably rival some of the stuff that we have
but
now.
According to Neil, it's not round. Yes.
So
Is a pear.
Perfect sphere. That's what the
No,
Earth is.
He just said it was.
But he's not saying it's a sphere. He's saying it's like a pear shape because of its spinning. It's gotten wider. So it could be getting flat.
No, because at the equator, gravity is a little stronger. So that section right there is just ever so slightly different than the other section.
But what he's saying is you wouldn't notice it because if you're so big, you wouldn't notice the extra. Sorry.
No, probably. I don't know. I don't know how big the curve is, but if you were a Galactus-sized person, maybe you notice. Well, no, perfectly shaped sphere. Splitting hairs.
Happy holidays, friends. 420, baby.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know what it is, to be honest. I just think
I know you don't like Neil deGrasse Tyson, but I personally do.
he just sounds like when he talks, he sounds like he doesn't even know what he's talking about. That's what I don't like about him.
Adam sounded just like him.
I think if you listen to someone talk long enough, they'll eventually say something that's nonsensical. But for the most part, he is a very well-spoken, articulate physicist and one of the minds of a generation.
I was going to say that's how Adam and I got married. Eventually, he just started making sense.
What's your thought on
Big brain.
Bill Nye the Science Guy?
He's a better figurehead than he is an actual scientist.
He's not even a scientist. He's an engineer.
Engineers of science
do a lot of science.
He got an honorary degree.
Like
That's why
ton of science.
He's a better public figure than he is an actual scientist. He just more advocates for the science community as a whole, even though he's not on the science part of it. He's the PR part.
Like a lot of engineers have to do chemistry, physics. Like they have to learn a ton of science part to be able to do engineering. Do you know what kind of engineer he is?
I don't, to be honest. But my thing is, though, if I'm a car mechanic, I can't call myself an airplane mechanic just because I'm a car mechanic, right?
Well, you've already specified that you're a car mechanic. If you stated,
I'm sorry, I screwed that up.
You're a mechanic.
Yes, I'm sorry, I screwed that up. Thank you, Angela.
But I think you can still say you're a mechanic, and you probably go to get more certifications. Yeah. Like an engineer could be a specific engineer. You could be a physics engineer. Like we have aerospace engineers, we have mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, we have metallurgical. Those are my favorites because I like that word, metallurgical.
So an engineering degree with one of those, it is a scientific consensus behind it as a topic. Those are your certifications for it. So if you're trying to
he's a mechanical engineer.
You have to have.
He's a mechanical engineer.
Yeah.
Okay, then he absolutely took physics and chemistry, and he had to learn about like mechanical engineer. It's a lot. Like I don't.
I'm sure. I'm not downgrading that.
But I work for those fuckers, and like the amount of math and science they have to know to be able to make these turbines and these like cryo pumps and stuff. Like
I hated calculus. That's why I never.
This is why I would never be an engineer. I'm too pretty for math.
I like math, but not calculus. Calculus as a subject doesn't.
I'm fascinated. Like I took a couple engineering classes when I worked at mines, and like what I was more fascinated about is like the tolerance aspect, and I love thermodynamics. I think that is really fascinating, but I couldn't do all of it.
You know what the hardest part about perpetual motion devices? Whenever you see
your
these,
battery dies.
Close. It's how do you hide the motor? Anytime you see one of those devices that's perpetual motion, just know the hardest part about that video is them hiding the motor. Mm-hmm. Perpetual motion is impossible.
All right. Well, moving on. Here is my second story, which
can you enter in like a Walter White, Jesse Pinkman, like, yeah, Mr. White, yes, science.
like being a guest on
This
this
is
show.
for the editing.
Or hold on, you can do that, or you can do How I Met Your Mother, where it's like lawyered.
Well, yes.
Looks like you're making that, but you're like smoking your.
I know.
I thought he was doing too. That's what I thought.
Amanda, you can't say he's sucking his thing.
Yeah, that's awkward.
Okay, our next story. I'm not sure if this is real or not, but I came across it, and I don't know. It just made me. It made me chuckle from so many parts of my chuckle box. So, wife stands by sex oddball hubby. He shagged our Sunday dinner chicken, but I still love him.
Oh my God, you did send that to me. I forgot about that one.
Did what?
This might be like a national choir. It could maybe not be real.
This is The Onion, but
it was hysterical. Apparently, in this story, a husband shagged the Sunday chicken, but the wife still loves him.
That's weird. I mean,
I remember this because I said something like, is that the British equivalent of American Pie?
so he did. Is that what he did? I don't even get the like.
Adam, I feel like you said the same thing.
I said
That's
it
what the
before,
words.
but I was muted. And I'm like, that's why you know me. I said this. I said, what's his name? Fucked a pie before. So like, this isn't technically impossible to think.
I'm just thinking how painful it'd be. I mean, there's bones in there, bud. I mean, and they're little bones.
What I appreciate is that some people's comments were, do you think they still ate the chicken for dinner after he stuffed it?
Yeah.
Or for most wives, the sight of their beloved being balls deep in a Sunday roast chicken usually sends them for the hills.
So she walked in on him like mid-stroke?
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you explain that?
Source, and it's from 2017. This was from before this stuff wasn't even.
Is that considered animal
She
cruelty?
prefaced saying
I prefaced very hard saying it's from the Sunday Sport, which is a rag paper. It's not always true, but I thought it was hysterical. I said I didn't know the truth of it.
Fake news.
Even if it is real news. It's on Reddit, your favorite thing.
Oh,
you love
Reddit.
Reddit.
Fake news.
You think Reddit's the best.
You play this. Have it.
You can ask Christopher to add it later.
Can you add in the Trump that you are fake news right there? I got good sound bites that are applicable to what we're talking about.
That is the thing we need to make a sound bite. I got good sound bites.
Yeah, clip that. I have some. I have a soundboard. It's only got 4 things on it. I have.
Add those and do gotcha, bitch.
I can change them. I set it up for the Bigfoot thing, the Bigfoot episode, but I didn't.
Whatever you're going to do to reprogram them, it's just going to be Adam saying things.
Mm-hmm.
Noted.
Love it. So I mean, back to it was a turkey, right? It wasn't a chicken, or was it a chicken?
It was a chicken.
Okay. So
Another comment online says, "I bet the base didn't taste right."
So did he finish? I need to know. This is.
I mean, it doesn't say.
It was probably extra salty. That base was extra salty.
I mean, I'm just trying to think how, like, what part would you go in on it at? Would you like make a cut in the turkey, or would you like do it in where the neck comes out?
It's not a turkey, it's a chicken.
I mean, yeah, well, it's the same principle, right? I guess.
Yeah.
Split roasting.
Okay, so it says that Glenda Baker found her husband Alan thrusting his manhood into a chilled poultry.
Oh,
in
it's
the wee
cold?
small hours,
Wait, it wasn't even warm?
Look, bud.
She signaled her displeasure in robust terms. They never thought of dissolving their union.
She probably walked in, dropped whatever's in her hand, and said, You nasty motherfucker.
It said, alerted by ecstatic yelps and alarmed to find Alan absent from their bed last weekend, Glinda crept downstairs to the kitchen of their something home in Cheshire. The sight that greeted the 47-year-old playground supervisor will stay with her for the rest of her days. She said, should I do it in a British accent?
Sure.
Yes.
Alan was stood next to I can't really do a good British accent when I'm eating pizza. Alan was stood next to the table with his pajama bottoms around his feet. The chicken was on the table and he was doing the sex to it. I said,
doing the sex.
And he spun around and in a look of horror to his face. I said, get your dick out of that chicken this instant. That's for Sunday dinner.
So,
to make sure he knew I was...
This sounds like fake news.
This is amazing. To make sure he knew I was cross, I twatted him with a spoon. I was furious on the amount of bothered... On the account my brother and his wife might be coming around for Sunday dinner. Heaven knows what she'd say if she found out that she was eating chicken that Alan had just shagged.
So,
needless to say, the bird went into the trash and we had pork chop for dinner.
So his wife must not be putting out.
It's amazing.
So if she didn't walk in on him, do you think she would have still made the chicken?
Yeah.
And served it?
She didn't know that he was doing... Well, I don't know, because what do you think he would have like...
Also, that begs the question, how many times and what other food has he done this to that she was not aware of?
Well, isn't that like back in the day you would make a pipe out of an apple and then you eat the apple as the evidence? Isn't this the same?
That's I think that's acceptable.
No.
Whereas
No,
chicken.
different.
That's this guy's reasoning.
This is
it though?
Literally
it seems like it.
Pubic hairs in my Sunday dinner versus eating weed apple.
So how do you think his thought process went down, or you think this is something he was planning? You think it was spontaneous, or he was planning to fuck that chicken?
That chicken looked real good to him.
It what? It wasn't cooked.
It was cold.
Cooked her.
That is not a cooked chicken. If you think that's the cooked chicken, I'm gonna need you to really get your glasses back.
Yeah. No.
And stop.
I was gonna say, please cut Adam off right now.
Or at least don't let him eat anything, because he might eat raw chicken.
He's supposed to be the chef out of the two of them.
Makes me worried about the chickens we have in the freezer.
I'm under the influence.
So I said, you're cut off.
Look, I think it has to be premeditated. I'm not a man. I don't have a penis, but I don't think you all are like, you know what would be really good right now? A tight chicken around my dick.
But I think it's equivalent for a woman. I don't think there's much difference there, because a woman could look at a banana or cucumber and say, I'd like that jammed up my, you know what?
Yeah.
So I think it goes both ways.
That's a good point, Chris. And I think that I have heard stories like about why they.
I'm not physically attracted to any sort of vegetable or fruit like that.
No, I don't look at it and go, that's a nice sized cucumber.
Give it that feels eggplant.
I think it goes down to, I wonder what that feels like. You know?
I think that was what his thought process was too. I'm like, that's a cold turkey or a chicken. I wonder what it'd feel like.
But that's the thing, is that it's cold too. That's what throws me off, is that the fact that it's cold.
Guys too. I mean, Adam said it's fake. He does not believe this is true.
I mean, yeah, it might be.
Do you see the picture of them now?
Amanda, this just screams fake news.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Fuck, Amanda.
I said, Ned, they didn't get to see it before you.
No, and I feel like
Don't you cite your sources? Isn't this literally what you're having a party about?
No, first off, she sent this to me on Instagram, so we didn't fact check this. We were just dumbfounded by the topic.
Listeners, I feel like I said multiple times when we started this.
You did.
This was real or not, but it made me chuckle. And you all can go fuck a chicken.
Eat a bag of chicken Richards.
About fucking a chicken?
Yeah, where the guy wanted people to Officer Barbrady to learn how to read, and he left all the stuff to teach him how to read, and essentially fucked a chicken.
What?
It was like the first season.
How does it go?
Literally the first season of South Park, like the third episode.
How does it go from someone learning to read to fucking a chicken?
No. For him to figure out who it was, he had to learn how to read. So Officer Barbrady was illiterate.
For him to figure out who fucked the chicken,
yes.
Was the chicken alive or dead?
The guy was like the librarian or something, and he wanted him to learn how to read.
Was the chicken alive?
He had to get into the mind of the chicken fucker.
How do you fuck an alive chicken?
It's South Park.
Don't ask questions. This was like early days of South Park. It made no sense. You know this.
No.
My brain goes to like pop
really
culture references.
On how one would have sex with the chicken. Yeah, because you probably fucking kill the chicken. Also, the chicken claws, like that seems awful.
Seems dangerous.
Yeah. All right, moving on.
All right, so off the chicken fucking topic here. So what I thought we would do for this episode is go through our past episodes to kind of wrap everything up and tie up any loose ends or thoughts that we have on the past two seasons. Some of them we did quite some time ago, and some of the ones towards the end will be some topics we may have just covered, but I figure we'd go through them and talk about them and see what we get. The first episode, it's our season 1, episode 1 episode. My topic and simulation theory. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys think we're in a simulation, or are you guys?
Oh my God, we're doing both seasons?
I thought you said insemination theory, and I was like, I remember that episode.
It's called Inception. Yes, we are in a simulation.
And
I think
that was
truly,
so long ago.
It was, and some of these, Ange, these are ones that
are like before me. Yeah.
That's why I figured it'd be fun to go through them, because you didn't get a chance to.
I know.
Really
that was when I listened.
I was going to say, Amanda got my sidebar topics about things during these early episodes.
Great. Sorry. Yeah, we're in a simulation. Everything, it makes sense. It's like,
the Matrix is real.
The hardest one for me is
can you measure it? It screams a computer that like only renders in what it needs to until it's seen. So like someone sees this electron, they're like, oh, okay, someone wants to look this level. We don't have the processing power to do that. We're just gonna, show that one little thing.
You're so clean now you can hear me. Yeah. I feel like it is probably one of the conspiracy theories I believe the most. Mainly the Mandela effect is something that that one is, I think, what makes me be like, yeah. Like I remember like sex in the city and sex and the city. Like I swear it was
in.
It's
actually and I think.
Actually and.
It's always been.
No, it's in. It was sex in the city, not sex and the city. I swear. And then
I remember that way.
One, and then
what's
the other one that I was like, I can't remember.
I mean, there's a bunch of them The other thing is, I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's called the Missing 411. So it's a topic on its own, and I'd love to go through it, but it really deserves like a deep dive. So there's a guy named David Paulides, I believe, and he's a former police officer, and I can't remember exactly how he got started in it, but more or less I don't know if he was assisting with a missing persons case, or something that he got tied into a missing persons case, and he went to the National Forestry Service in one of the states. Well, I'm sorry, it's a national, so it's statewide, but the one he went to was in a specific state, and he asked for their total missing people for that area, right? And like any police department or they'd be able to produce that, and anybody can get it. It's public information, and same with that. but they don't track it. The National Forestry Service does not track how many people go missing in their forest. So he went in and kind of started investigating himself, and he found out that like a shit ton of people go missing in national forests. And like it's weird cases, like somebody, like a kid, he's behind you 1 second, you turn around and he's gone, and literally like no trace. And what I think it is, well, one of the things it is, unless you figure in Bigfoot, aliens, and all that fun stuff, is it's the simulation effect. There's not enough rendering to render that part of the forest to where that person ends up. So instead of trying to render it and screwing up the system, they just remove the person, to free up like RAM space.
They're kind of like, oh, we're just gonna like, this person's gone because we don't have RAM for it.
Yeah, we can't like render what they're, it's not meant for people to see, or it's not, we can't render what they're trying to view, so we just take them out of the equation. And I think that's why National Forest. Yeah.
At the end, where it's like everything's already hidden, it's overlapped on everything.
Yeah.
Or like when you get to that part in a video game and you can't go past that boundary.
Yes. Yeah. Instead of it, you can't go past the boundary, it just removes you. And I'm not doing that topic justice, to be honest. I mean, it is super fascinating, and there's a couple. There's 2 documentaries that he's put out. One is just called Missing 411, and the other one is Missing 411 Hunted. And the hunted one is all about people that were out hunting, and it's happened to them. And it is like super, super fascinating. It's all about missing people, and
that's really interesting.
It is. He's done a ton of podcasts and stuff, and the guy is like super legit. Like, I don't know. He seems like, and he never goes in and says like, oh, it's aliens. Oh, it's Bigfoot. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. He just says there's something strange about these cases that, he doesn't like have a specific theory of what it is that's causing it. He just knows there's something going on that's causing this, because these cases are just weird how these people are going missing,
Would you say there's something strange in the neighborhood?
Oh, sure.
Who are you going to call?
Ghostbusters.
Can I sing it, or would that be copyright issue?
Oh, they might ding us on that, but we're not. Unfortunately, we're not quite at enough listeners.
There's something not normal in the cul-de-sac. Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters.
Waters.
Ghost Facers. Oh wait, that's copyrighted too.
Schoolbusters.
Man, it didn't get far enough in the show to get that.
I know.
No, man, I gave up, y'all. Like, I tried so hard to watch Supernatural, but after like season 3.5, I was like, Mom, I can't do this anymore.
There's something I saw that was Supernatural related.
Yes, but what?
I don't know. All right. Well, there we are with that. What about Animal Spies? We know that's kind of legit. You know that's a thing. But what are your guys' feelings on that? Any fun stuff or new information?
Best episode we had.
They found a dolphin with like a tracking camera back in the 80s.
Yeah, do you know where you learned that about? On this podcast, episode 2 that we had?
All right. Angela,
I listen.
Any thoughts on that, Angela?
It was before me. It's been so long since I listened to it. But wasn't that like our number 1 episode at one point for listeners?
Actually, I hate break.
Or did it get overrun from season 1?
It was the number 2 episode. The number 1 has always been Simulation, and I think it still is.
It's good.
It's such a perfect explanation.
I haven't checked it in a while, to be honest, but yeah, it was like our number 2, I think, for a good while.
I thought it was number 1 for a while, and then the Simulation. I don't know. I'd have to listen to, because I know in some of the episodes we recap saying, "Oh, this was our number 1."
Oh, well, maybe it was. I may be wrong.
I don't know. I don't have it in my notes, though, because I didn't post date on my notes. But yeah.
Yeah, so that's that. And all right, next one's the good old alien encounters. What are we
Part 1
thinking
and
about?
2.
Yeah.
Oh, that a
What do we-
cheap part?
Yeah.
Think there's aliens?
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Think they're abducting people?
Yeah, of course. What do you think?
I definitely think there's aliens. Abducting, I think, is going on, but I think a lot of it is holy shit. Hold that thought. Well, I'm gonna hold this thought and jump back to it. Sorry about that. So I definitely think there's aliens. I think a lot of this stuff is not necessarily. I don't think all of it is interdimensional, extraterrestrial. I don't really, and I don't see that's the thing with aliens too. Is I don't completely think that they're from another planet. I think it's more likely. Is that the right way?
Lizard people.
Nah. Well, yeah.
Center Earth.
I think that, yeah, that's a very good possibility. Or the other one is that they're interdimensional. They come from a different dimension instead of a different planet.
So timeline
kind of, yeah.
encounters.
Yeah, like interdimensional, like another universe, I guess is the way to say it. But
Lost World.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's something going on there, and I'd love to know what it is, and I think we're going to find out about it. All right.
What?
Chris had a sidebar. I think he looked up our recordings to see what was number 1 and stuff.
Yeah. So since we just wrapped up the first 3 episodes, I'm going to run through that and give you the top 5 episodes of all time as of this moment. So our number 1 episode is actually episode 10, Hollow Earth.
Interesting.
Yeah. Our number 2 is Simulation Theory. And then number 4 is Witches.
That makes sense.
Witches.
Number 5 is Did We Land on the Moon?
Wait. Hold on. We had Hollow Earth, Simulation.
Witches.
That was 3? I thought you said that was 4.
No, Witches is 4. I mean, sorry, Witches is 3. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
And number 4 is Did We Land on the Moon? And then number 5 is the Dyatlov Pass incident.
I don't remember that one at all.
Oh yeah, that was the Russian one. That was hilarious. I did like the Russian voices and names.
Yeah, it was episode 6.
It was that episode?
Yeah.
So all our top 5 are from the first season.
I think at least. Maybe I was wrong.
No, I agree. I'm sorry, I was counting, and I do agree. It was a good season. I think we changed some things up a little bit for the better, and I think we were more consistent then. And unfortunately, I can't even say that, but I think we were a little more consistent. We've had some good runs where we were really consistent, and I think we that lull there kind of messed us up a little bit between episode 1 or season 1 and season 2. But I definitely think we have a much solid show now.
I mean, as far as releasing for season 1, it was at least 2 a month. No, it was at least 2 a month.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, like it wasn't until Witches that it was, and then so Witches was August. The first part of Betty and Barney was in September, and then the second part of that didn't get released until November, but November was still 2 as far as you posting and stuff. So, I mean, it was pretty consistent. You were doing like every other week.
Our top season 2 episode is Operation High Jump, and that's not till number 10. That's our 10th.
Was that again? That was the one.
Hold on.
It was one of my topics.
The Antarctica thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that one. Yes.
I thought that was a good one. I thought that was a really great topic with Admiral Byrd, his diary.
The one with the gay frogs.
That was the gay frogs, I'm pretty sure.
I love the gay frogs.
I liked our Wacky World news for that one.
Yeah.
The Mountain Dew one, Amanda?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, actually, there was two. There's the Mountain Dew one, and then the two guys in Arkansas shooting each other with the bulletproof vests.
Yes. Yes.
And getting tried for it.
Love that. All right. So our number
6.
6th episode, RM, plenty of holes in the RM sinking ship. Plenty of holes in the sinking of RMS Titanic.
If it was real or not, yeah.
That was a good one, too.
That was good.
Yes, I like that story, and I have a nephew that is fascinated with the Titanic, and he is he knows that he's young, he's only 9, and he knows a shitload about everything about the Titanic. And when he gets older, hopefully he can listen to our show because it's got potty mouth in it. But yeah, that was a really good topic. I don't think I have 5. Bigfoot. Do we believe in Bigfoot?
Yeah, of course. We saw him in Colorado.
Who saw him?
The news people.
What?
Yeah.
I feel like you talked about that on that episode.
No, it was another one because it happened.
No.
Late.
We talked.
You all were
we talked about it on one of them.
Yeah.
So it exists, like legit? They haven't said
he's real.
that.
He's real.
I believe he's real. But that's another one. I think that's interdimensional. I don't know if he's like, I'm on the fence of whether he's like an animal or being that we haven't discovered yet. I don't know where I sit with that completely, but I kind of lean that he's interdimensional, and that's why we're like not able to see him. We catch glimpses of him, and he or she leaves a mark, or we catch him on video. But I don't know. I'm on the fence because how else would they be able to be, such good hiders? If they weren't able to have like a special ability or technological capabilities. I mean, yeah, the whole thing like, oh, well, how come we don't, if they're real, how come we don't have a skeleton of one that's died? It could be that they bury their own. They could bury their own. And then
they're hopping in their interdimensional transportation mode is like through a tree or something.
Yeah. Yeah. It could be something cool like that. And I mean, there's these random stairs. Another thing fun about the National Forest, we could do a whole episode on just the National Forest. But another interesting thing is in a National Forest, there's like these random staircases that people find in National Forest. Have you guys heard about that? It looks like a piece of a house. It's like
all the wood ones.
Yeah, well, they're wood, they're concrete. I mean, it's crazy. The random staircases in the woods, and they're just like they're like go nowhere. I'll share my screen.
Nowhere that you know of, but maybe we can't see it because we don't have special Bigfoot eyes.
Yeah,
that's what he's saying. They're like interdimensional.
I mean, look at these things. They're like just where do they go?
Oh God, they go up.
Yeah, but to where? What is that in the woods for? And they're all different kinds of stairs. Like, why would somebody build that?
Oh, I love the stone ones. It's great.
I mean, yeah, these are neat. And they probably could have been an old structure, but it's still strange. Like randomly, just a staircase in the middle of the woods, like this. What is that?
I mean, that could also just be like, couldn't that be stairs that were there and then like ended up like it didn't go anywhere? Like people just like, oh, I was going to build stairs and then ended up not doing it. Or the place that it was going ended up, okay, that's not real.
What?
The one with the medieval looking one.
This one?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
No, not that one. Sorry, I meant the one above it. Over.
It's the same one.
Oh, go down. The one that has an arrow.
Oh.
Why didn't you just say that one?
Because I don't know.
That's not real.
Yeah.
For sure. But I don't like some of these are I just Googled random staircases in the woods. Let me see if I can do this.
Why not just do stairs to nowhere in the woods?
Probably a smart way to do it. I'm just coming up.
Yeah, like some of these I think they used to be like probably connected to stuff that has been washed away or like you know.
But the cement ones right there with the kids.
That the one that's like the most weird.
Yeah.
But, like why would somebody build that?
That one's weird.
That photo looks super photoshopped.
Yeah, it does. And some of the ones that more interest me are like what the hell's going on, or maybe these ones that look like they were part of like a castle or something.
Yeah.
Or these that are like just random stairs going up to a tree.
They're going to go up to go hunting.
I mean, where are they going to go?
They use their like little tree climber things.
I mean, they do have tree stands that have stairs up to them, but that's like at somebody's house.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, things like that are just they're fascinating. I mean, some of these just like somebody built stairs on a hiking trail, so I don't really buy that necessarily.
But yeah, like that. Yeah, some of them are pretty questionable.
Like there's a bunch of good like stories from like National Forest officers and stuff talking about these stairs, and one of the guys was saying that he was told when he first became a ranger to not go up the stairs, but nobody would really tell him why.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like weird. There's a lot of weird stuff.
You Google like, is there stairs in Colorado?
Yeah, what like random stairs in Colorado.
Mm-hmm. I just see your pretty face with your very nice black glasses. I have a bit of a red undertone.
Yeah, doesn't seem like there is. It just pulls up the same just shows the same shit.
So it doesn't call out any specific ones in Colorado.
Yeah.
That's questionable.
And it deserves and people have done a shitload of videos on YouTube and stuff.
What are the famous stairs in Colorado? Oh, the Manitou Incline. F that noise. Never doing that.
Historical landmark.
It is a historical landmark.
But yeah, I mean that's another thing that's like really strange of stuff in the national forest and stuff that
I don't know. I guess the stairs I think are questionable because like I think we have to remember that like we weren't the first ones to live here. And so I think that, in some places natives could have built stairs to get to like certain things that then were like torn down or removed if they move. I think the ones where it's like iron and like metal, that's the more questionable ones. But like the ones that are wood or stone could absolutely have been built like thousands of years ago.
And see that's the other thing too.
So, but with the wood, they would have fell apart by now. Like
exactly, it would have rotted away. And it goes into another topic that I like. That's conspiracy is Tartaria, and that's a bad explanation of what the topic's about because Tartaria was a real place in the Russia region, but it's talking about that there was like an advanced civilization that lived here in our world before us.
We love that.
Yeah, and it like
there's like a reset. That's still on our list to do.
Yeah, it is, and we're gonna do it. It's just it's a vast topic, and that's another one that I'm like terrified to take on because I don't want to like screw it up because it is a really good subject, and I think I could sell it. I just need to really work on it, but that's a good one.
And was it you that sent me the video of the woman who was like saying she was from galactic people No? Okay, I don't know who it was then. But she was
Galactic
like a woman who's like, I am human, but I'm galactic. And like I'm pregnant with a human baby, but I had to tell my galactic family.
This doesn't ring any
Oh
bells.
my gosh, maybe it was Erica. I was like, I'm sorry, come again?
That's fascinating. Though. I'd love to hear that story.
I will find it because it was so entertaining.
The two people that do that topic justice are a guy that's his name's John Levi, and he does topics on YouTube, but his talking is so dry. But I like it. It's soothing to me. Let me see if I can pull up the video and give you guys a snippet real quick to hear it. But he's very dry. His talking. Robin can't stand it, but to me it's soothing. But he's extremely knowledgeable about the topic. And the other one is My Lunch Break. I think it's called. What's it called? And that's another really good.
Oh, okay, I found it. I will share it with you both.
What is it?
Who did you share it with?
I'm gonna share an email on text message.
No, who did you share it with originally?
No, and I think it just popped up. So I was wrong.
All right, so here quick. So here's this guy's channel. I'll play a video in a second, but his stuff is extremely dry. Like his voice, and I'll play in a second, but he goes through like ancient tech videos, like talks about ancient technology that was built in buildings, talks about free energy, and they're short, so they're typically under 30 minutes.
In this water, and somehow these have just been shredded, the whole landmass shredded. And here's a good example of something just not seeming so natural.
The violin and his voice.
You could put me to sleep at night.
That I was gonna say, that's what I'm gonna listen to when I can't fall asleep now.
Yes, it's good though. I'm telling you, it's fascinating. But yes, it's very dry, and that's how most, not necessarily with the piano, the violins and stuff, but a lot of his videos are very like, I guess monotone would be the best example or the explanation.
It is. It's very monotone, and it's very. And this is.
He goes through. My lunch break. No, My Lunch Break. So he's the other good one, and his videos they're a little more upbeat, but he goes through that topic as well, like ancient stuff, and a lot of them they go through Wikipedia, Google Maps. Like John Levi either goes on Google Maps or he goes out to the places in Utah and like picks it apart and explains like pictures of buildings. They'll go through like these old pictures of buildings because they'll say that these buildings got built like in 2 years. Some of these like immaculate structures, like this one right here. Oh, I can't hover over it. It's above where my cursor is right here. They'll say like something as immaculate as that was built 2 years. Like, how could we build that in 2 years in 1800? You know, shit like that. It just doesn't make sense. So, but anyway, fascinating topic that we will cover hopefully in the near future. Moving on.
There was the Dial to Love Pass one. Was episode 6?
Yes, episode 6. So Dyatlov Pass.
Wait, didn't we already talk about that?
No, he just said that was our number 5 for the top 5.
So I don't think there's much new on that. I still kind of up in the air what happened with that. If the Russian government had something to do with it, or if it was, I don't know if it's necessarily extraterrestrial related, but I definitely think there was some kind of involvement in somebody in some position knows what's going on with that. Anybody else have anything for that?
I think it was murder by the Russian government.
Yeah, I could definitely see that the Russian government had something to do with it for sure. I don't know what exactly they had to do with it, but I agree with you, Mana, that they definitely did have something to do with it. The guy that did, I can't remember his name right now, that came on the trip with them last minute. He wasn't a part of the original group, but he added himself to it, like as they were getting ready to leave, I think it was. Oh, it's right on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, that guy, I think he is a big part of, you know, whatever happened to them. Well, Flat Earth is our episode 7, and I think we already talked about that one, so I think we'll skip past that and go to Did We Land on the Moon? Do you guys think we landed on the moon?
We did.
Yep, 100%.
I don't buy it.
The Chinese sent a satellite up there like 8 years ago, and they even that we landed. Like,
I don't buy it. It was a good topic, Adam, but I don't buy it. Very good topic. I don't think that. I just think the reasonings I think that are, one, when NASA was asked how come we don't go back to the moon, their answering is we destroyed the technology. That
But
is
we
legit.
haven't we?
No.
I was gonna say they stopped the
Apollo.
program. Yeah.
It's a
So do you just not believe that overall we landed on the moon, or just the original moon landing in the 60s?
I think the original moon landing mainly. And the other thing is there's the original footage from the moon landing. There's only recordings of the recordings. There's the original footage does not exist. It was destroyed.
Here's my thought, and take with it what you want. But I think not only have we been to the moon, but we have also continually been back to the moon, and we have a
secret base.
A secret base in the moon.
Yes, and that's the other side I lean. If I don't lean that the one way, that is absolutely 110% the other direction I lean.
Yep. That is my belief. I will stick to it forever and ever. Amen.
I definitely think we saw something when we went up there, if we did go up there, and, that may have been reason why we didn't go back. But there's other things that I don't buy that we went to it, but I absolutely agree that if we did, that we encountered something for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Next one. Da Vinci Code and With Your Spirit.
That was just a fun one. I liked that. That was to me, I just thought it was really fun. I don't know, like if I believe, if I don't believe. It just was a good time.
It was a good time. It was a good topic. So we've had a few of those that it wasn't necessarily like, do you believe, do you not believe, 100, like totally. It's like, these are the facts. And I like those. I think they're informative and fun for sure.
Yeah, I think it allowed us to like just talk about the church and just like the history. And I think it was like a nice, fun history aspect. Yeah.
It's kind of like the cornerstones of the original idea of the podcast is to definitely go down the conspiracy rabbit hole, but also just have a fun topic that we can offer banter back and forth with.
Exactly.
Hollow Earth, episode 10. So my tidbit on that is if the Earth's not flat, tongue in cheek, I definitely could see that it is hollow for sure.
I think that there is some type, I don't know if I would say hollow Earth, but I think, okay. I don't think it's like, what was that thing? Like King Kong, but like on a level of King Kong.
So going back to what Chris was saying with the interdimensional.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Lost World type thing in the middle of the earth.
The world, yeah.
I think they had some of the ideas on point for the King Kong and Godzilla thing, but I think the whole like inversion thing where they like when they were traveling from this side of Earth, the other side of Earth was kind of a little far fetched. There was a few things that were a little far fetched for me to buy it completely, but I could definitely, see that they were on the right path. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Angela? Is Earth hollow?
I mean, I think I'm of the mind of your thought with the interdimensional lost world type thing. I feel like there's something there.
All right. Secret Society.
Mm.
I think that was another fun one that you guys did early on.
Oh yeah, that was also like another fun one. Like it was.
Yeah, I mean, we know they exist. I mean, it's in our face. They exist. I mean, some of them are more in your face than others.
Yeah,
but I definitely think that.
Was that the one with the place that all the bigwigs go?
Bohemian Grove. I mean, there's a couple of those. Yeah.
With the what
that actually?
What's the main one? The Illuminati.
Yeah, Illuminati.
Mm-hmm.
Rosicrucians. I think like some are more in your face than others, like I said, but I definitely think there's some out there. I mean, people think the Order of Skull and Bones, like that's a big secret society, which a large chunk of our presidents were a member of that. So I have to admit that.
Right.
So that's kind of interesting, but that's because it's a big time fraternity, I guess, is the best explanation from, I think it's Yale. Is it Yale that Skull and Bones is from?
Oh, Harvard. Well, I think Yale has too, but Harvard also. Yeah.
I think Yale was the main one. But anyway, yeah, I think that might have a big chunk to do with it. It's because of that. But yeah, this is another fun topic. I like this one too. Is New Orleans vampires?
Oh, I love that.
That was such a good one. That was probably one of my favorites.
Yeah. Where are you guys at with that? You think there's vampires in New Orleans?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and I like that. I've been really thinking a lot about like emotional vampires.
I think
talked about that.
Yes, and that's like the good example is that. What is that show called? That guy's
What We Do in the Shadows.
I love that show.
Yeah,
it's so good. What? Oh God, what's his name? Colin Robinson.
Yeah, yeah, and that's like a good example of it. I think that I think that could be actually a thing, but I don't know how that would work physically, but I definitely.
I think like I've met people who are emotional vampires, and I think
yeah. What is what?
Chris and I were on a vampire tour.
Once when you went to New Orleans.
Yeah, and they were talking about it.
I mean, I could see it. Like, if you are a super, super introvert and you're with the complete opposite extrovert type, that you're just both on either side, far ends of.
Are you talking about
both of that?
You're talking.
No. It's definitely you have like.
Yeah.
It definitely sucks some life out of you trying to be people-y.
But I think it's more than that. Like sometimes I think it's emotional vampires are also people who like
live on the drama type thing too.
Yeah. And they like want it to be, how do I say this? Like they know that like certain people have, like I have high empathy. Like it's just part of my neurons. And I think like I probably would be great juice for the emotional vampires. Because they could drain on the emotion that I already like have. Or maybe I am an emotional vampire because I respond to other people's emotions differently. I don't know. I mean, I'm a real vampire, but
all right. This one has me listed as doing this topic, but I think it was our dear departed David.
Was it David?
Yeah, Eastern State Penitentiary.
That was David.
Oh,
R.I.P.
Let me fix that.
I mean, he's not dead, but like
I was gonna say, yeah, he's still with us, but
he's dead in the podcast. Just kidding.
Oh gosh.
He's departed the podcast.
Chris
but
is going to
he's
see
still-
him tomorrow, so we'll find out if he's still alive.
But that was good. That was good history lesson and dive into that paranormal side of Eastern States. That was definitely a good one.
Didn't Erica go to that with the girls?
No idea.
I feel like she did, or I don't know. They were near it or something. I don't remember anymore.
All right. Next one, episode 14, which I think that was
Also another fun one.
Yeah, I think that was a fun history one. I think there's still witches that are like legit and still here, whether it's to the level Hollywood and TV makes it to where they're brewing stuff and casting spells, but I definitely think there's a type of witch that is legit thing.
Well, oh yeah. I mean, I think I may have said this in the episode, but the idea of how witches, which is like what Hollywood puts out, is not what witchcraft is. Witchcraft was women using the nature and their senses to be able to heal and care for people. And also women learning. And because, oh my God, a woman could read, she's a witch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I think that caused a lot of the witch trials and things, is that I guess fear mongering.
Yeah, I've like now decided I'm in my witch era. Like, I don't know what that means, but just know that I'm in my witch era.
I mean, technically you are with your PhD, right?
Yeah, right. I'm going to like join groups of women. I'm going to celebrate them. I might go pick up some berries and feed them to Adam. We'll see what happens.
Good experiment.
Have that recorded, right?
She didn't say what kind.
I know.
She's going to feed you some magic mushrooms.
Evidence for when I eventually am taken off this earth by her.
Getting closer and closer every day.
All right. Betty and Barney Hill abduction. That is episode.
Love it.
That was a two-parter, and that was the first one I think I was on.
Yeah.
Was it really?
That one was so interesting too, because I really felt like the storyline in the just there's so many still questions I have, and it happened so many years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still unfolding. It was the one the first time anybody came forward and said they were abducted in the mainstream like that. And I mean, there was reports of it, but it didn't hit the mainstream like it did.
Right.
And it was, I think, the first true description of what of what we call the Greys now. So that's pretty interesting.
And then just how jarring they were with it. Like how like upset and like, oh my gosh, it just felt so real to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and like I said, and for them to, during that time, to shine light on themselves like they did, took a lot of courage in itself. I mean, they had to be spotlight hungry people to endure the shit, for lack of better words, they went through for being a multiracial couple in the 60s and shining light on that. And it's just that's another thing that I buy it is like, if it's not real, why would they put themselves through that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's just a crazy, like it was just very crazy and also quite like entertaining. So
yes.
Good episode.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Next one. Queen Lizzie and her lizard people.
Oh, all right.
Amanda's favorite topic.
Oh my gosh, I was listening to a podcast more about this and like lizard people, and I don't know, man, like it's just so crazy to me. So crazy. I just can't. Like the more and more people talk about, the more ridiculous it sounds. So that's how I feel.
It is very kind of out there. It's out there for the conspiracy theories that I see. Hold on one second.
Yeah, that's the thing. It just seems so off for like what we know, but I don't know, maybe. I think they like thought about it being about like aliens coming and then like the tall grays. Like that doesn't seem as off. Like the aspect of like lizards, I think is weird, but the fact that maybe we are like descendants from, well, it's weird because we know we're descendants from apes because just genetics, but could there be some type of mixture with the like other creatures? I can't remember what they're called, like the tall aliens. That doesn't seem unplausible to me.
Yeah. You talking about the tall white?
Tall whites, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think that thing. I think we might have our numbering screwed up.
Okay.
Why?
Oh yeah, that was like my birthday when we did that, and you weren't on that one, Ange.
I think it's right with the way you released it.
Is it?
Yeah. Pretty sure.
Okay. I don't know any better.
Okay, you're right. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I numbered something like that. For some reason, the flat Earth is uploaded twice. I gotta fix that.
For mine,
that's weird. Anyway, moving on.
Oh, you know what's missing? Did we talk about this one? What? Oh no, we did. Never mind. Nothing. Cut that part out. Continue. Episode 17.
Oh yeah. Episode 17. Cults. Yes.
Love a cult. We did 2 cult episodes. Fucking love them. Can't wait to start my own. Thinking about it might be centered around eating hot dogs. Unsure.
I think that was a good one. I liked that first one that we did because it was just like a high level, and then the most recent one we did with your Trump episode, the Cult of Trump episode, Amanda.
I know, but then
it was a good tie-in together.
Amazing. I love when someone trolls me. Please, listeners, if you really want to engage personally with A. Davis, just troll me because I think it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that guy was definitely not happy with us, wasn't he?
For our listeners who don't know, we are considering going into the world of YouTube and recording ourselves and posting it out there, which I don't know if we definitely have the face for radio. So I'm sure
I do at least.
But we had some friends who wanted to tell us how bad our audio was. I think he said it was the worst audio he had ever heard ever. Yeah. Which I don't know, kind of a compliment. Thanks, Boo Boo.
Yeah, and somehow he was weird. He like compared it to Joe Rogan in some weird way.
Also taken back. I was like, I don't think I sound like we are like Joe Rogan, but
Yeah, if it's bad, I don't see that. They have phenomenal audio and spend a lot of money. And I think for our setup, I think we're doing all right if we sound like Joe Rogan.
Considering, it's just you basically doing it.
Yeah, on a free GarageBand.
But, as we said, good times had by all.
Yeah. I mean, look, we tried, guys. If you have tips or things that you think, could help us sound better or we could fix to make us sound better, let us know. Drop us a line, Don't hate us.
Thank you for listening to the Waters Run Deep podcast. Check us out on YouTube and follow us on Instagram at TWRD_podcast. If you have a topic suggestion or would just like to send us a nasty gram, email us at thewatersrundeeppodcast.com. Please remember to rate and review on your platform of choice. It really helps us out with the algorithms to get new listeners to check us out.
Full-time job.
If you leave us a 5-star review, we will read it on an episode and send you out some TWRD stickers. Till next time, run deep.
Absolutely.
Till next.
I think to date we've made not even enough to buy one of us lunch. So
No, not even off the dollar menu.
Well, not even definitely not a Red Lobster if they're getting rid of endless shrimp.
yeah, exactly. So come on, guys, take it easy on us.
Give us a break.
And if you want to be a guest on here and do it with us, and because you think you can do it better, we'd be glad to have you.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Absolutely.
So next one, 12 Lies of Christmas. That was a fun one, and I think
I really like that one. I thought our comparison to everything, I thought we did a really good job on that one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So we're into season 2. And episode 1, Skinwalker Ranch. We had our cousin David on for that topic.
Daniel.
What did I say, David?
Yeah.
His brother.
His brother, Daniel.
We do that all the time, though, so it's not even like surprise. You better like prepare yourself because you're going to see them soon.
Yeah, I think they're both would give us side eyes when we do that, though. So I'm sure we're getting a side eye if either one of them are listening to us right now. Sorry, guys. Yeah, that was a great topic. Skinwalker Ranch is one of my favorite ones too. There's a lot of research going on there, a ton of documentaries and stuff out there that it's just fascinating, that whole area of stuff that's going on. There's a what is it? So there's a couple ranches out that way in that vicinity within this is not accurate, but within a 200-mile radius, I would guess that there's 3 ranches total besides Skinwalker Ranch. And I don't know if we mentioned this on the episode, but there's another ranch that's called the Blind Frog Ranch, and there's actually a like series on History Channel that talks about it. There's like 2 seasons of it, and it's this guy that's like a oil magnate. From what I get, I might be mistaken, but he's like an oil magnate, and he bought this property because he was told there's like this hidden treasure on there from the Aztecs. So he bought the property or the ranch, and then he's digging around and doing stuff looking for this gold. And at one point they I don't know if they were drilling or digging into the earth, and all of a sudden these blind frogs jumped out of like what they were digging or drilling.
Bro,
like,
how did they were blind?
I guess the way their eyes were or whatever. It's fascinating. They go into it on the in the show. And it's in that area, and they get a lot of weird stuff that happens on that property too. That's similar to the Skinwalker Ranch. And then the other one is Space Wolf Lodge. Is it Lodge or Space Wolf Ranch? It's a property, and it's like right adjacent to Skinwalker Ranch, and it's similar that they of course have all this weird stuff. The guy had like a shipping container, Connex box. If you don't know what a Connex box shipping container is, this large metal containers that were on the ship that hit the Key Bridge. Not funny. Sorry, it's not funny. They
too soon.
Yeah, too soon. So he had one of those on the ranch or for storage or whatever. And one night it was like literally picked up and like turned sideways, and there was no like tornado or anything in the area. And it was also struck by lightning, and it's like a lot of weird, abnormal stuff has happened on that property. And it's crazy because I don't think the weird stuff that's going on there is specific to the Skinwalker Ranch, which has that TV show on History Channel as well. I think it's just that area is the Uinta Basin has got a lot going on.
Have you heard? I was listening to a podcast about this serial killer in Indiana called Herb. I don't know something, but apparently his house is super duper, like it's still there and it has so much insane like negative forces and stuff. We have to do an episode on it. But yeah, it's really interesting. And like they've had like our favorite ghost hunters have been out there.
Ghost Adventures?
Yeah.
Really?
Herb
How did I
Herbert
miss that?
is the serial killer's. No, wait, that's not it. That's from Schitt's Creek.
Wrong TV show.
Herb Baumeister is his name.
What is this?
Herb Baumeister. It's in. He was
Herb Herbert.
Huh?
Herb Herbert.
Herb Herbert Baumeister. And his house in Western Indiana or whatever is extremely haunted. And it's called Fox Hollow Farm.
Never heard of this.
Yeah, me either until the podcast I was listening to brought it up. But they think a lot of it is because that's where he committed most of his murders, was at this house. But the people who bought it were super fine with it. Like they were like, whatever, like we don't care if this was a serial killer home. It's like a great place for our horses. And then they started experiencing like a ton of crazy. Oh, they literally at this Fox Hollow Farm, they sell meat from their bison and their cows. So this is a whole thing.
Well, I added it to our topics, so we can talk about that one day.
Yeah, it's an 18-acre estate that was once the home of an alleged serial killer, and there's like all this just feelings of it. The other interesting thing that the podcast was talking about that I was listening to was saying a lot of serial killers' homes or like places that killings happen were torn down, like either by the state or by the people who bought it or whatever. So this is like one of the only like actual homes that are still intact of where the murders happened.
Interesting.
And the bodies were exposed there and all that. So interesting, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, good segue into episode 2 of season 2. Lizzie Borden, done by Ange. Did she do it or the uncle do it?
She did not do it.
She didn't do it. I stand by. She's innocent.
I think the uncle did it.
Yep.
The uncle and the maid.
Yep. Fair enough. All right. Episode 3 is time travel a thing? Did we invent it in the future and return, or is it a thing now?
It is absolutely.
That was when we had J-Mo on that.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yes, J-Mo from Bootleggers and Baptist. Is that right? Bootleggers and Baptist?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fair enough. And he's the bassist. Oh, I see it now.
Yeah,
that was a good one. I really like that one. We had a good conversation about it.
My science was hot shit talking about it, but other than that, it was good. Trying to piece all that shit together was a little bit of a struggle for me, but yeah, it was good. I think it is a thing. I think it is a thing in the future, and I think that maybe some of the stuff that we're seeing in the skies, the government's seeing in the skies, is maybe these people that are visiting us from the future. You know, I can't believe somewhere in our timeline, in the past or future, whatever, that time travel hasn't been invented. You know, some sort of it.
Musk is from the future, or he's a simulator at character.
Yeah, he's an interesting character for sure. For sure. All right. Speaking of serial killers, Amanda did this topic and had Adam as a guest on. Devil in the White City, H.H. Holmes.
H.H. Holmes. I like it. I think it was a great introduction. Or, well, I guess Lizzie was the first introduction, but she was more of like a mass murderer. But,
he was more of a mass murderer.
Yeah, he was
Well, he was definitely a serial killer. I don't feel like Lizzie Borden would be defined as a serial killer.
Yeah. You're right. She's a mass murderer because she did it all at once, whereas he killed multiple people over a period of time. So fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'd love to do some more episodes on serial killers. I know they're not cultish, but I think that they have a little bit of a cult aspect to it, and I think there's some good ones. Not cultish or
cult.
Yes, I feel like
they're cult adjacent.
I know they're not like conspiracy theory, but they're conspiracy theory adjacent, and I think there's some really interesting thoughts behind serial killers. I was just talking to a coworker of mine about it. we were talking now about how and I don't remember if we talked about this in the episode, but how like serial killers aren't as common because there's just such an easier, there's such an easier way to find them now with technology, like with blood and all of that. And then I was also recently listening to another podcast about a serial killer that was talking, I promise listeners, I listen to other things, but was talking about how the use of like ancestry.com and those kind of things have really actually helped solve a lot of cold cases and some like serial killer stuff. So I just think it's interesting, and I would love to even talk more about even just the use of the DNA and all of that. Maybe throw some Mormonism in there, you know.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I mean, I like the serial killer stuff. It's definitely a good topic for sure. I mean, there's definitely some strangeness in these people's thought processes. So, you know, whether it's their own undeveloped or developed mental, you know, incapacity, or it's an outside force causing them to do it. I definitely think it's a interesting topic and fun conversation for sure. All right, next one. Maury Island UFO incident. So I love my UFO topics, of course. That one I'm on the fence whether it was legit or a hoax, but it's similar to another case, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. But they just put an interesting documentary out that talks to one of the witnesses, and I think it's on Netflix. And that whole it happened in Missouri. Remember. But it was a pair, and they were friends, and they were fishing, and a UFO came down. And then this one's similar, where it was a guy fishing, or a couple guys fishing, and they saw stuff falling from the sky. But I think might be possible that it was a hoax.
That have been like space trash. I've been reading a lot about space trash, and like I read an article about this couple that came home from like a trip, and they had like a huge hole in their ceilings, and they found like this thing on their ground that was like basically space trash.
Yeah, and the one I was talking about is the show on Netflix is The Files of the Unexplained, and it was the first episode, and it's called Pascagoula Alien Abduction. So it's these two guys that were out fishing and say they were abducted by these mechanical alien creatures. And the one thing that makes me believe this is real, and this isn't Maury Island, this is another one that I would like to cover, but it's similar to Maury Island, is the two went to the police station, and after the police left the room, they hid like a tape recorder underneath the table, and they left it recording when the police left the room. And you can hear the guys like legit talking about the incident, not saying like, hey, we need to get our story straight. Let's make sure we say this. Let's make sure we say that. Like they were legit talking amongst each other about the incident as if like it really happened. And I thought that was like really fascinating. It makes me, because, you know, if you're bullshitting about it, you're going to be talking about, hey, make sure we, you know, say this or say that, you know?
Yeah, I was just confirming with each other. Did it really happen? Were we really here?
Yeah. It's a fascinating story. And the guy was like really one of the guys, like, there's only one guy I think still alive that was involved in it, but you could tell the guy like went through something, you know? All right, another UFO. And Aunt Margaret was apparently on a guest for this one. Good old Aunt Margaret, Mother Margaret.
No, wrong Margaret. Amanda's friend, Dr. Margaret.
Yeah. There is a doctor. I'm terribly sorry, Dr. Margaret. I can't read.
I literally typed in Dr. Margaret in there.
I know. I saw Margaret and assumed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. We'll fix that in post. No worries. I don't even know it. Yes, the guest Dr. Margaret on that episode. That was a good one too. It was a good alien one and a good, in my opinion, another side to that phenomenon for sure.
I think my favorite about that one was our Wacky World news with the bears costumes.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then then we talked about the people in Alabama who got like the.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. That was insane. That was a good episode. Margaret is so fun. I love her.
Yes, she
Until
is.
you get to see her when you come visit.
Yay.
You get graduation and come to the party. So
awesome. I get to meet her in real life.
Yes.
Good stuff. All right. Episode 7, season 2, Operation High Jump. We briefly talked about that one, I think, when we were talking about the top episodes, and that one was a good one. I like that topic, and that's another one I think has some legitimacy to it. If it really happened, not completely the whole diary that I went through. I think some of that may be fabricated, but I think some of it is real for sure.
Yeah, I like that one. I liked all the, I guess, evidence or documentation of, going through the journal and stuff. I thought that was a really good topic that we did.
Yeah.
It was. Right. I mean, I found it very interesting.
Amanda, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I really liked it. Thought it was a good one, and I love that kind of stuff. Though I love that, like, we have so much fact we're not believing it kind of stuff. So
yeah.
All
right. Episode 8, JMO was the guest host for this one, and he did con men. I think that was an awesome topic. Definitely fun to have somebody else present besides the three of us. I enjoy that a lot. Yeah, very factual.
I love when other people do the group project.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I think it allows other people to dip their toe into this craziness and gives listeners a different side besides our biasness of our own each. There we go. Episode 9, Birds Aren't Real.
God, this one was just, it was.
Yes, it was.
It's just so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
What I like is how you can start a movement. Like, I feel like I want to start a movement that, like, squirrels are trying to take over the world or something.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating how he took, he's in a sense making fun of conspiracy theorists, which is okay. I mean, sometimes we need to be, they need to be put in check. The shit that they believe sometimes is so out there that how can you buy it? There's a lot of it that I buy into, so I guess in some fashion you can put me in that category as well. So I don't remove myself from that. And I'm sure people think some of the shit I believe is out there, but I think it's interesting how he was able to kind of prove that in a sense and show that don't buy everything you read,
Yeah, I think it's I think it was definitely important because I think we talked about it in this episode where we're just so inundated with information and you just believe the first thing that you hear. And him, kind of saying like, this is an anti-conspiracy in a way, but just starting a movement. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Episode 10, Little Green Men, Kelly, Kentucky. Where are you guys at with that?
I got to read my notes on that one.
Sorry, can you repeat that? I was having a moment.
So, Little Green Men, it's a Kelly, Kentucky, where the family.
Oh, this was the family. This was the family that just all of their.
They were shooting the shit out
of. Yeah, all their accounts just don't seem plausible at all.
Yeah.
If a presenter pieces that story together, they can make it sound 100% factual. But if you present all the facts, I feel like it makes it more implausible. That's one thing about that one that kind of is like, I can kind of see this, but I feel like they're trying to sell me on it too much,
Agreed. Like, right? It would be if I wrote a story about, UFO.
All right. Episode 11, JFK. Where are we at with that?
Oh,
I think, I really like this one that we did too. I know I've been saying this a lot, but I think us watching the tape together on it and trying to debunk it, I think we're all in agreement. Like, there's definitely a conspiracy behind it.
I wholeheartedly think that I believe that there was some type of shot. It spooked the guy behind him, the secret agent. He shot JFK, but obviously the government didn't want to say that. So
Yeah, I think there's something hidden there for whatever reason. There were so many people that, whether it was a mob, whether it was the CIA, whether it was who the hell knows. But I think somebody did it outside of Lee Harvey Oswald that they had to cover it up. You know, they couldn't come out and say it. I think they just scrambled and they did what they had to do.
And I mean, just watching the video, like us dissecting, like how many people were actually there. Like, this is the president of the United States, and he didn't have that much of a crowd, and the crowd didn't follow him.
Yeah, it was like where it happened, there was like nobody, but other parts of the video, there was like a shit ton of people. And where it happened would have been the best place to see him because it was such a wide open area that you could have packed a ton of people in there.
Exactly.
So.
And I feel like he's still like one of America's favorite presidents. So you'd think they'd come in droves.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Episode 12, The Cult of Trump. Cults Part 2.
It's so funny that we went from like probably a very famous like president who definitely had his demons for sure, like not saying that Kennedy was perfect, to talking about another president that, you know, brings us lots of good trolls and is a troll himself. Wait, did I say that? I'm so sorry. Please bleep that out.
Yeah, our worst recorded audio episode, apparently. So
just like Joe Rogan. I thought Joe Rogan was pro-Trump.
No.
Come
around to realize that.
I have to read you something. Hold on, I gotta find it because it was so fantastic.
While you're looking for it, most of those people, there is still people that absolutely love Trump, but I think a lot of people also are just like the lesser of two evils in a sense. And I think they lean that way because of the lesser of two evils in their mind. But
this is a post and the title says, "Teaching my first history course this semester has been rewarding, but I don't know what to do with this student." And the student, it is a written thing. And it says, "The Battle of Gettysburg. Our Union was saved by the immortal heroes of Gettysburg. Gettysburg. What an unbelievable battle that was. The Battle of Gettysburg. What is an unbelievable? I mean, it was so much and so interesting and so vicious and horrible and so beautiful in so many ways."
Did Trump write this for him?
Boys, listen, Gettysburg, first of all, this wonderful, nobody's seen anything like Gettysburg, ever. Not in the history of man. Someone would say Gettysburg was the greatest.
It's unbelievable.
That's what they tell me. It's what I hear. That it's the greatest.
I want you to read this.
Can I read this in his voice?
Please.
Hold on.
Because it's hysterical. And like what he's saying is exactly what it says. So this actually is from a speech that Donald J. Trump wrote.
Union was saved by the immortal heroes at Gettysburg. Gettysburg. What an unbelievable battle that was. The Battle of Gettysburg. Oh, what an unbelievable. I mean, it was so much and so interesting and vicious and horrible and beautiful and so many different things. It represented such a big portion of the... Hold on, wait, no, I'm screwed.
Now you're going like...
It represented such a big portion of the success of this country. Gettysburg, wow. I go to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, just to look and watch. And it has a statement. I need this bigger. Send this to me in a text.
It says,
I can't.
I'll finish it off. He says,
God, I wish we had that on the episode.
in the statement of Robert E. Lee, who's no longer in favor, did you ever notice that? He's no longer in favor. Never fight uphill, me boys. Never fight uphill.
Never fight uphill.
They were fighting uphill.
Never
He said, wow, that was a big mistake. He lost his great general and they were fighting. Never fight uphill, me boys, but it was too late. It was this is literally an actual word for word speech from a speech that Trump gave. And that, honestly, I wish I had that for the article because I was like, I don't know what we're talking about.
Gettysburg.
Gettysburg.
You like Gettysburg and then do the Gettysburg address and then put that text there.
I just wanted to say, never fight uphill, me boys. Never fight uphill. But I don't know why Robert E. Lee is no longer in favor. Maybe because he fought for the Confederate and was against our country? I don't know. Anyways, sorry. Probably get some more hate mail. It's my fault. I'll reply, Chris.
I'll respond with a custom video responding to them as Trump in case they want something back.
There's our Patreon right there.
There is our Patreon. We have now created it. Adam's guilty of spray tan, though.
It'll be audio. We'll record audio. Watch these.
One more thing.
Myself mid-sentence, just like him. First of all, Gettysburg. Gerg. It was a big war. Some would say the biggest wars. By the way, that would be shitting myself mid-sentence.
So when Mom got her back surgery, like got her stimulator removed, did I tell you all this? They have to put on this like cleaner to like clean the spot, and it makes your
iodine.
It's not iodine because it's like iodine though. So
Okay.
they put it on to clean the spot, and I made a joke, and I was like, "Oh, Mom, you're getting a tan." And then nurse leaned over, and she's like, "Yes, we like to call it the Mr. President."
I bet your mother loved that.
Laughing. And Mom didn't get it until I explained it to her, and she's like, "That's terrible." But I thought it was great.
Let's do himself.
Anyways,
That's hilarious.
as we were saying.
And then our last episode for season 2, which just got released.
Yeah. That woman, Chris has spent, I think you're on week 2 with her, week 3.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
How you feeling? How's it going? Do you feel pity for me yet?
I have a lot of fun with her. I think,
Someone asked her.
yeah, I think,
My mother.
great.
Did she forget she had crab cakes in the oven and sprinted to them?
No, she
with lightning reflexes.
Oh my gosh, that's whenever she's going slow, we're like, Mark, crab cakes. So she had crab cakes in the oven when Andrew was visiting, and she's talking to us, and she's like, oh! She like gets up and like runs to the kitchen.
Usain Bolt.
And all of us are like, we've never seen her move that fast.
It's been years since she's moved that fast.
She's going pretty good for being a 9-toe sloth.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're having fun with Maggie. And has she told you more about this story?
A little bit. She did have a follow-up about it. I can't remember what it was, but she does have a follow-up. And actually, where I'm at right now, I am only about 50 minutes from
Is she going to make you take her?
She kind of talked about it. And if I was here,
I feel like we talked about it on the episode.
If I was here for a little bit longer than a long weekend, I probably would, to be honest.
Oh man, she would love it.
I think it would be a great time.
She would love it. I love that your dad called me the other day trying to convince me that he left her at the gas station.
If my mom wasn't laughing in the background, I think, but you pulled her up so fast that I was like, Jesus
I don't think
Christ.
your dad realized that I did actually have a tracker on her.
Well, I floated the idea. I said, I bet you she has a way to track her.
Yeah, didn't you put LoJack on her phone?
Yeah, with Apple phones, you can share location. And so I put that on her phone that I can see where she's at. So Uncle Jack called, they're driving from Pennsylvania to Florida, and he's like, hey, do you have a tracker on your mom? We left her at the gas station. And I was like, that's funny because she's driving down 95 right now. She must have found a trucker. Hope she puts out. And
because no one rides for free.
So the best part is I answered the phone in the middle of a junior league meeting because I thought maybe something had happened to her because, I don't know. And then I'm like playing along and they're all watching me. And I'm like, I shouldn't talk about my mom being a whore with the truckers. At least not in public. We can talk about it in private.
I'm sure the girls love that.
Humor.
My family does have a wonderful sense of humor.
I like dark humor.
It's the best. So, we deal with the trauma.
What other families could you be like, do you want to see how big my boogers are? And just send pictures. Like literally what I've done.
Share that. Like,
I will.
I'm still waiting for my appendix framed picture.
Your what?
My Christmas present. Your framed appendix picture? Yes.
You do like a collage.
Oh my gosh.
Of all the medical stuff.
Do you want to hear how sick I am? Like how sick I am dealing with trauma? I turned to Adam the other day because I have a picture of my ovary and the ectopic pregnancy. And I was like, oh, baby's first picture.
God. We're going to hell.
God, I love it.
I'll meet you there. No worries.
And my mom Adam goes, Amanda, you can't do that.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Oh, God.
It's the only way we can deal with the trauma.
It is. Our unhealthy coping mechanism.
I will say, though, so for our listeners, I am graduating in 2 weeks with my PhD, and we have a lot of family coming, a lot of friends. It's going to be super exciting. But my favorite part about this whole thing is explaining to Adam's parents, who decided last minute they were coming, how many people were going to be in and around our house. And I'm naming all these people. I'm like, oh, Uncle Jack, Aunt Sherry, Aunt Moni, Aunt Sherry, all these people. And they're like, that's a lot of people. Oh my God.
Speak of the devil.
And she arrives.
Hi.
My baby. Yes, that's my baby. I love my baby. Yes.
Chris is counting the days.
My favorite line.
My baby.
2 days left.
I'm so sorry you're not here. But he gets all my love.
Oh, she's trying to make you jealous. I thought she was calling Chris.
Are you balding up top? What's going on with the hair?
Oh, she can't hear you.
I realize she can't hear me. If you were balding up top, what was going on with the hair?
Me and my baby.
Just if you're balding.
Mark, crab cakes.
My baby.
I don't think she can still hear us.
My baby. Do you guys got all your work done for the next weekend?
No, Margaret, because it is snowing.
You're not there.
Yeah. Well, what's the snow have to do with it?
How would you like me to do things when it's less than 30 degrees and it's snowing?
Snowing like what?
Like cats and fucking dogs.
Like the heat's back on.
It's cold, Mom. It's snowing.
I turned it up to 70.
You know the white stuff that comes from the sky?
Turn the heat up to 70? You have never done that in the 2 years I lived there.
That's why I use that as a metric of how cold it's been. Yes, I have turned it up a couple times.
But I will say that the month you've been gone, our electric bill was only $60. So you might have to be raising some rent.
You didn't get one yet from me yet.
They can track it though.
What'd you
How
say?
do they track it?
You can go in.
I think what the bill is actually
it's getting offset.
It's getting offset because of the solar panel because it's later now.
Oh yeah, because I send heat to you from Florida.
Lit, I think.
Because we're in Florida.
Yeah, so I don't have that. What?
Where are you? And what did you say? Fucking cold Colorado?
Yeah, and you get to come back and live here. So I hope you love it.
Sweet Florida.
Are you going to live in Florida with Uncle Jack and Aunt Sherry?
I could.
I don't know about that.
I could go back to Pennsylvania too.
Chris's face.
I have in Colorado, I have
you have a tower?
My tower. I have a dungeon in Pennsylvania.
That's where you belong.
Angela, I'm going to see you in a couple of weeks or less.
Mm-hmm.
You better be nice because I could put you in the dungeon.
He said that, Angela.
Yeah,
Angela.
Your daughter said it, not me.
Oh. I can't follow these screen
Is she celebrating 420 also? Did you up her meds?
Apparently.
Today 420 and you didn't tell me? Christopher, all those weed stores we went
It's her favorite holiday. How dare you?
Oh my God.
Mark,
In Denver, they're celebrating it.
See what you're missing out on? You could be there.
I can't believe I missed 420. I can't believe it. My generation started it.
Yeah, tell us the history of it.
The history of it?
Yeah, why do we pick April 20th?
Is that at school and work, they would say, I'd meet you in the court at 420. And that's when they lit up.
Is that? I don't think that's right.
I think it is.
That sounds pretty good. I mean,
It actually seems like a better reason than I've gotten from other people I've asked. Let's Google.
What did they say? Other people.
Adam said, oh, okay. So apparently the origins of the term 420 generally were long, murky. Some claim to refer to a police code for marijuana possession or that it was derived from Bob Dylan's song Rainy Day Women, number 12 and 35. With its reference that everyone must get stoned. And then 420 is the product of 12 times 35. Some people say it was about
why with the math? Why with the math?
I know that the math one doesn't seem right because I don't think I could do math high.
What is the time one?
It says in 1971, a group of high school students in San Rafael, California, known as the Waldos, used the term 420 as a code word to meet at 4:20 p.m. to search for an abandoned cannabis crop. And the term evolved from their original plan and became slang for marijuana consumption, especially around 4:20 p.m.
Who's right?
I mean, she would have given her 70.
We started it in 1970, but it went through 71.
All right, I can buy
Okay.
that.
Okay, Mark.
Who's
I mean,
right?
that was you.
That
was your generation.
420 that you know.
What they are now.
I can buy it.
So how did you go from being a cool hippie person to somebody who's wearing a Buc-ee's t-shirt?
And saying go Trump.
Because when you moved, we got rid of all of her paraphernalia.
Generation that they went from that to...
Hey, that's who's trolling us right now, so we have to respect them.
It's our time.
Gettysburg.
What a war. Look, nobody fought a better Gettysburg than Donald Trump. If I manned the airports,
I think we should just close it out with Adam talking about the airports during Gettysburg.
What was the hill? What was the hill line? Nobody fights on the hill.
You don't fight
hill. Don't fight it.
Which I think he was referring to Antietam.
Term, I think it really probably was a quote from Robert E. Lee. I just don't think he said,
I will die on this hill.
Uphill, me boys. I don't think he said me boys.
That's what it is. Never fight uphill, me boys.
He was Irish.
No.
And it has what he says, but it highlights a couple little things on there and see if people...
I should never fight uphill, me boys. Never fight uphill. That was my attempt on an Irish accent. I'm not very good at Irish accents. Me boys.
You are sometimes. You gotta get it right.
Well, I think it's time to close out this episode because the more Adam smokes, the more we're going to get Trump impressions. And honestly, they go from Trump impressions to just really bad impressions of I'm not sure.
All right, friends. Well,
plus we have a basketball game to watch. Go Nuggets!
Go Nugs!
Go Nugs! All right, friends. Well, thank you for joining us on another episode of the Waters Run Deep podcast. Thank you, Adam, for joining us as well and celebrating a little bit. we'll catch everybody next time. I hope to continue this, and it's been a fun 2 seasons, and things have changed for the better, and we're making making things happen. So we're gonna keep on keeping on, and until next time, don't forget to rate and review on your platform of choice, and tell your friends. Until next time.